what is nothing. But sure we got the clue how that this we go. Don't you know? Know my art. And as I look to the horizon, not a cloud, cloud and stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it breaks up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you forgo. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is the best for eyes. You're done there. By the time you see you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good brunch. This is DSP News. It's a rather interesting moment. We here at GTG have decided to take a request from someone who has supported the network, and we appreciate that support. So we will take that request. There's also another request too that we'll be handling after this one. But this one right here is about DSP. Back in the day when he used to be jacked. Apparently for 2 years, he was the man, in shape. Not the pudgy doughboy that we know now. I don't know if well, really, he doesn't eat a lot now. I mean, he eats like once or twice a day? He looks sickly, to be honest with you. Anyway, I'm sorry. But the point is back in the day, he used to be jacked, in shape. Ugh. And apparently, one of his subscribers pointed that out. So, we will, you will hear the footage, and then we will come back with our thoughts. DSP, jacked. Let's listen in.
What are people talking about here? Infinite Fail says that I used to work out in my college years, I was jacked. That's actually a true statement. It's actually a true statement. I used to work out, like, for about 2 years. I was lifting weights heavily, to the point where I was taking the protein shakes, creatine shakes, and I was lifting weights, everything, bench press, the squats, I was doing everything crazy, and I was jacked to the point where, like, people were like, oh shit, like, Phil looks like he's ripped, but then I stopped doing it for various reasons. I've talked about them before. Well, I was doing it too much, and I almost had a fucking blood vessel pop in my fucking head and end up in the hospital. That wasn't good. Sometimes, when I was younger, I would do things like to the extreme, and that was the problem. I didn't know about moderation back then. So for me, I'm gonna work out.
Moderation, huh? Like that, pandering to your demographic for that money, for that that support. I'm sorry, we're calling it support now. Interesting. DSP News.
I'm not just gonna work out. I'm gonna fucking go crazy with every possible thing that I could do to work out and get jacked and shit. And it's funny because, I haven't worked out in a million years.
Can someone get Leanna on the phone? And I'd like to have confirmation. Can we do that? She's not taking calls? Oh, the phone's disconnected? Oh. Okay. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anything? No? She's still in mine? Okay. So she's still in Jamaica with Tyrone. Okay, no problem. We'll work on that. Okay? Over here at DSP News, we're working on that. We will hopefully get Leanna. Is that yeah, Leanna? Hopefully we'll be able to get her. So someone please get this woman on the phone.
Well, I still, you look at me, fold my arms, you can still see the muscles and stuff on my arm. I'm still kind of, I've got that on my body, and I probably will have that for the rest of my life. My dad used to be an actual bodybuilder, and even now, he hasn't worked out in like 20 years, but he's still, you look at him, he looks buff. You still retain some of that muscle, even if you don't keep doing it for the rest of your life. So that's...
I'm sorry, Mr. DSP. We did try to actually reach out to your father for confirmation on that, but he said that he wouldn't be talking to the press after that doxing or swatting. He says he can't remember, and no one else can seem to remember that either. We're still working on that also, but he said no comment.
Good. All right. No, I didn't use bull shark testosterone. That stuff wasn't popular back then. I mean, we're talking early 2000s. Back then, the creatine was the big. The creatine was ever. Creatine's the new thing. You gotta do creatine. They thought it was this fucking catchphrase, and everyone had to do it. All right. All right, folks. Here we go. Yes, my dad was a bodybuilder. He wasn't a professional bodybuilder, but it was his hobby. He loved to lift weights, and he was one of those meatheads who would go to the gym and go crazy lifting weights and shit. Because he worked at a company, a shipping company, so he had to move heavy loads of freight all the time. So doing that in the free time helped him at his job.
That doesn't necessarily make him a bodybuilder, just maybe someone who really just likes to work out. But all right then. All right, so anyway, there you go on that. Thank you to Mr. Stuffs for that. I think the video was called what was the video called? Yeah, it was Mr. Stuffs, and I used to work out. I'll have the link of that in the description. Riveting. Yet again, more revelations about DSP's past. Apparently, he used to be in the gym, putting in the weights. Well, putting in the time, lifting the weights, getting all buff for Leanne. Riveting. Now, in Mr. Stuff's video, he has taken the liberty of showing pictures of DSP back in those days. And to be perfectly honest with you, in this newsroom currently, with the 4 people that are here, we're not convinced. Not at all. What's that? What are you eating? What? Quiche. What's that? Yeah, it looks good. Oh, really? That's what Leanna used to make for Phil so he could get buff? Huh. Oh, well, I think I'll stay where I'm at, sir. He's way too buff for me. I'll be perfectly honest with you. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting to the point where you're catching gout, you might want to fall back from that, sir. I'm good. I will have my salad without the Chipotle barbecue, without the Chipotle and the barbecue sauce. I'm good. Anyway, Mr. DSP used to be buff. And like I said, Mr. Stuff took the liberty of showing pictures of a past Phil and in all of his splendor. Here at GTG Network, though, we're not going to do that. If you've been a long time viewer of this network, you know how we do over here. So we're going to do the opposite of that. We're going to have this video will be jam-packed, as you've already witnessed, with some very lovely, well, you guys will see. As for him being buff or used to work out, yeah, I suppose I can see the endurance. You know, he was working on his wind. You know, and then he was being able to expel air from his gut with all that belching and whatnot, and he's very heavy into his energy drinks and whatnot. Yeah, I can really see it. I mean, to endure the grueling work days that he has, it speaks volumes. It really does. And then to think, like you said, when you see Phil, lift a controller up with so much effort, you can see the gun show there. You can see the definition in the forearms when he was exposed for beating his, well, you guys know. He's the peak of physical condition. And now we understand why. Riveting. Well, this was just a special report on... I'm sorry. I wanted to take this really seriously. Oh my God, this kid. Okay, let me break character for just a second. He looks like he hasn't seen a gym ever, let alone a push-up or sit-up. The closest thing to aerobics he's seen is Richard Simmons, as far as I'm concerned. No, I doubt that. I doubt that wholeheartedly. Is it possible that Rambo and OJ and Howard probably hit the gym in their spare time to keep themselves up. Sure, I can see that all day. I can see Philly here though, being like, "Oh, my back, guys, my back. Oh my God, my back. I blew my back out." I see that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see. Do I see him putting in any real work? No. He may have done a decent amount of walking, possibly. He looked scrawny back in those days. Talked a whole lot of shit though, but he seems. But then he always backed down too. But no, I don't. No, I don't see that at all. Because through exercise, ladies and gentlemen, builds character. No, not at all. Not at all. Okay, I just don't see it. Amusing nonetheless, but I don't see it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really wanted to try to stay in character for that, but no, he's so full of shit. Unless he can provide pictures himself, which he doesn't need to, because pictures have been provided, not even close. Oh my gosh. Alright, next video we'll be talking about, apparently, some trouble in paradise with one of his moderators. Another subscriber requested if I would do it, and we'll get on that next, and we'll see what that's about. Should be interesting. And, in the video.
Not just talking, you know, the usual suspects. Every fighting game streamer. Play Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and my penis gets so erect every time I see one of those 95 hit pattern combos and incredibly 100% safe rushdown tactics. Oh my God, my penis, I can't control it. It's like